get ready to rumble!
And welcome to In Sports Centers in Trumbull, Connecticut for the Legacy League's Winter 2017 Finals between the 5th-seeded Monstars and the 3rd-seeded Redemption. Joey Zocco here alongside me, my broadcast partner, Tyler Feldman. Tyler, what do these two teams have to do to win tonight?
You know, in a big game like this, Joey, there's a couple of things. You know, you need to overcome nerves, limit turnovers, and you got to hit big shots.
For sure. Redemption starts here with the ball. Let's go through the starting lineups quickly. That's Korshard with the ball, along with Graham, Sklarz, and Matt Pills. For the Monstars, Mike Cody, Corey Jacobs, Antoine Petway, and Reggie Stewart, who right there with the block. And the ball stays with Redemption. There's their full lineup. Pills, Jeter, Freeman, Graham, Korshard, and Captain Joel Castillo. Pills finishes down low early for Redemption, the early 2-0 lead. Here's the Monstars: Chisholm, Amoroso, Seabrook, Jacobs, Stewart, Cody, Alston, and Dante Rodriguez. Not pictured, Antoine Petway, who finishes there with the slam to tie the game at 2. Redemption's second possession, Korshard coming down. He's really the floor general for this team, Tyler.
Yeah, last season an all-star with Sportslook, as we know, and sort of just really helps this team gel on the floor. A good facilitator, helps guys he creates shots for his teammates.
And funny story about him, you mentioned him with Sportslook. Now his name is Korshard, very easy to say actually. We said Crowshard the first 4 weeks of his Legacy League's career. He was quick to fix us on that, as the Monstars get a deflection and the ball back. But we definitely know his name now after an All-Star Game appearance and now an appearance here in the finals. Cody connects on the first 3. That's a good sign for the Monstars, who don't shoot it well from 3, Tyler. But, you know, Redemption, on the other hand, does, so they'll need to make some of those to stay in this.
Right, I think, you know, this Redemption team, you know, they have a lot of good size, and they're going to need to keep up scoring-wise with, you know, a difficult Monstars team, which has a lot of good guard play.
Correct, a lot of good guard play. The Monstars shot 24% from 3 on the season, so anything they get from back there is a bonus. Stewart likes to attack. Cody likes to attack. He tries it again, off the mark this time. The regular season MVP, Jalen Graham, right there with the rebound. Up ahead to Sklarz, no good, but Redemption keeps possession. Korshard off the mark. Cody the long rebound. Here he comes down the court. Another floor general for that team. And finishes over Korshard. As we are early in this game, both teams getting up and down as we play 4-on-4, Tyler, instead of the 5-on-5.
Yeah, I really like Mike Cody and what he's brought. You know, he took a step back, you know, took a smaller role on a better team, and he's really coming, and he understands his role, and he plays it very well. It's a good X factor for that team.
Foul on the Monstars early, as you see there, 7.5 to go. The Monstars are the visitors as the lower seed. Here's Pete Sklarz to the line for 2. Connects on the first, and we mentioned Reggie Stewart. We saw him in the semifinals go bonkers as his 5th-seeded Monstars in a 3-point game against the top-seeded and undefeated serial killers in the final 2 minutes, a 3-point game. Stewart there for 3. We're going to see him get this pass again, hit it again. 11 points in the final 2 minutes for Stewart, as the bench loves it there, as the Monstars were able to take down the serial killers. Mike Davis missed some shots in the last minutes, and as you see there, an 89-76. Monstars win in the semis. Many people picked the serial killers. They advanced here to the finals, and Stewart will definitely be asked to keep up that sort of performance to keep his team in the game. They lead here early 7-4 after 2 good free throws from Sklarz.
Yeah, I know you can speak to it as well, Joey. Reggie is just a dynamic player, and he brings so much to his team, both scoring and defensively. He's just a high-energy player, and he hits big shots when it matters the most.
For sure, here's Redemption. Graham fade away. No good. That's Jacobs with the rebound. Also an all-star. Also an all-defensive team honoree there. Slashes in and finishes. That's what he's good at. Attacking, setting people up, and can hit the 3. But Corey Jacobs, just as important to this Monstars team as anybody else.
Oh yeah, he's a big body, and when he gets going off the dribble, he's hard to stay in front of because he can throw his weight around. And you know, I believe at one point during the season I tried to take a charge on him, and I think he cracked about 3 of my ribs.
Yeah, so Jacobs also picked it up in the quarterfinals, like I said, 14 points when they played Stranger Danger, the upset team, and they took care of them easily. Here's some defense from Redemption. Here comes Korshard, number 3. An uncharacteristic turnover there from Korshard and Redemption. They'll need to limit that. They were actually 3rd most in the league in turnovers on the season, which is surprising. They're a team we think of that has great team chemistry and actually takes care of the ball.
And if you look at their team makeup, a bunch of the guys on the team actually coach basketball. So like they know what they're doing. It's interesting to see a team that prides themselves on the fundamentals and taking care of the basketball have such a problem with the turnovers.
Right, and the Monstars, 6th most in the league in turnovers on the season. There's a foul call on Reggie. He admits his guilt there. And Matt Pills will go to the line. So halfway through the first, Monstars lead early, 11-6. Called it on the floor. All right. Here comes Jalen Graham trying to get going early. Unable to there. They're going to really need him. Now, Graham, 29 points per game in the regular season. Petway with the flush. Can't forget about him. We'll get to him in a second. Graham led the league in scoring. 29 points per game. Over 55% from the floor as well. 40% from three. He carried this team on offense at times, and that's not to take anything away from them, but Jalen Graham has been great this year and definitely deserved that MVP honor.
Yeah, he's another one of these guys that he just seems to, another finish there by Petway. He is all over the place on the glass. Jalen Graham is just a player that we've seen this season. He just kind of do it all. He can fill it up from the floor, plays pretty good defense, he can facilitate, and the whole offense runs through him. It's a nice backdoor cut there.
15-8 Monstars now, and let's get to Petway. Shooting 68.6% from the floor, so a lot of putbacks. Doesn't shoot a lot, but he's definitely a force on the boards, and they find and box him out there. Sklarz does as he controls the rebound. And another turnover for Redemption. Coach to coach there, uncharacteristic. 15-8 is our score here. 4 minutes to go in the first. But Petway has been a nice addition to a Monstars team that, we said isn't known for their shooting, known for their slashing. So anything he can clean up definitely helps this Monstars team, and they'll need him here tonight.
Couple of switches here for the Monstars. Drill Chisholm comes in off the bench. Ty Alston, Brandon Seabrook, and Dante.
There's Dante, the big follow.
Yeah, good play. Little man with the box out.
And again, same idea with him. He's been streaky. Anything they get from him like that is a bonus, as now the lead blows up to 9. Graham, the deep three, we've seen a lot of that. 17-11 Monstars now.
Good to see him get going. He missed the first just couple shots. They're going to really need him to get going.
Correct,
another
turnover.
Ill-advised pass.
How much of this do you think, neither of us have gotten this far, but we've played in big athletic competitions in our life. How much of this, and he called it out of bounds, the ball stayed with Redemption, how much of this is the nerves now? They're about 7 minutes in. I think it's kind of basketball from here on out, right? They should be all good to go.
Yeah, I think maybe those first couple of possessions you could see from Redemption, maybe a couple of forced shots, maybe not the greatest jumpers that they're taking. The Monstars came out looking ready to go. I think that you'll see now them starting to settle in. At this point, you're in the middle of the game. You got to sort of just, you don't really think about it too much. You're just out there playing.
Get out of the way, Angelo. We know that ref very well. Very good dude. They call the foul there. Can't finish. That's Stanley Jeter, number 7. He will go to the line for 2. 17-11 Monstars as we close the first quarter here. Talk about Jeter. Definitely a 3-and-D guy, a hustle guy. And played in 9 games, only averaged 6 points as he connects on the free throw there. 48% from the floor. When he shoots, it goes in. Over 4 rebounds a game. He's more one of those glue guys they have that doesn't get the recognition that maybe a Graham or Korshard does, but he's a big part of this team as he sinks both calmly.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about the makeup of this team, and with their basketball background, they sort of they understand their roles very well. And you don't really see a lot of the arguments over playtime and minutes. They sort of understand that, when he's out there, he's going to be hustling, playing defense. Mike Freeman over there at the top of the key, he's a big shooter for them. So they have their pieces, and they know how to use them very well. Speaking
of arguing, I definitely did a lot of prep for this, but did not figure out which week this was. They lost to, I believe, Carmine Redemption did, and the Temptations there in overtime. Nice
pass, yeah.
Jeter misses, and they clean it up. Can't finish. Wow, so there's 2 points to leave on the table. Graham fouled on the body. Petway with the clean block there. But they definitely got in a little argument. It was very noticeable one night during the season after Redemption lost in overtime to the Temptations, and Carmine went for the record 62 points in that game. But Joel's mentioned to me a couple times that that's really the one, you mentioned argument. They got into it, they got past it, they got over the loss, and they came back closer after that. And he calls that a turning point, that overtime loss to the Temptations.
Yeah, I think sometimes really good teams, when you run the wire, if you go undefeated, you come into the playoffs with a lot of pressure. So well, I'm not advocating for losing games. There's something to be learned from a tough loss, especially in overtime. And how you bounce back is really integral. So I think that Redemption has proven, you know, they're here in the finals, in the biggest game of the season. So they obviously figured it out, whatever their little kinks were at that point.
Amoroso, the corner 3, he's also a shooter that's come on in the playoffs for them. 20-15 Monstars in the final 30 seconds. Graham lost the ball there, appears to be holding his leg or ankle, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
that's not
good.
good.
Call time. Not the guy you want to see that happen to.
Came down awkwardly, he's going to walk it off. 20-17 now. Under 30 seconds left in this first quarter. We play 4 quarters, 10 minutes each. We play 4-on-4 as well. So a little different. So there is 4 quarters, and we're wrapping up the first one here.
Nice dunk by Jake Crowder.
Yeah, that's the Celtics in action as we speak. Jabril Chisholm,
Good
off
board.
the mark, stays with it.
He's another guy that brings a lot of energy off the bench. We talk a lot about Jabril and what he can provide for his team. Maybe not an electric scorer, but he is a high-energy player, plays really good defense, and we all know about his presence on the bench. Loves to talk a lot of trash. Oh, and there he is. A big 3 from Jabril Chisholm.
And the horn goes off. 23-17. That 3 extends the lead to 6 as the Monstars lead after 1. Graham with 9 points. Jabril Chisholm with 5. Cody with 5. And Jalen Graham carrying the load for Redemption. 5 boards as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that ankle for Graham. What do you think they're talking about now over by the benches there?
I think that they got to make some adjustments. That was a tough shot that Jabril just hit right there. I don't know what else he can do. It was pretty good defense, but I think most of all they got to figure out if Jalen's not ready to go. They got to figure out what they're going to do about it, because if the Monstars bring in Reggie, I don't really know if they have another person that they can put out there to guard him. So.
I don't know what is going on with the camera at the moment, but we will start the second quarter shortly. Monstars by 6. Now they are the lower seed. Both teams were 6-3 coming in. Both teams definitely earned their way here, that's for sure. I mean, making it through the playoffs this year, we were talking about a balanced league. A lot of teams can get here, and neither of the top 2 seeds are here, who both finished the regular season undefeated. So 2 more surprise teams here as Cody starts the second quarter with a 3 that is short. And Korshard brings it up for Redemption. On the floor, Ken Ryder, number 24, Sklarz, Pills, and Korshard. They called a foul there on that one. This is Redemption's bigger lineup. As you see there, number 16, number 18, and number 24 are big guys. Now, Sklarz, number 16 there, can stretch it, but they have 2 true bigs, and there he goes stretching the floor, off the mark from 3, but he definitely can hit that shot, shooting 35% from 3.
Seabrook in transition.
Yeah, Seabrook, big 3. So again, if the Monstars are going to get 3-point shooting, they're going to be tough to beat. Back and forth we go. Stewart the block, but a foul is called.
Seabrook unhappy with that one. He thought it was a clean block.
They got Stewart with it, I believe, number 24 there. So Matt Pills back to the line for 2.
They've done a good job getting the ball inside. They've gone to the line a bunch of times already. They're just not really knocking down shots up from the floor, man.
They are one of those teams that likes to play big. So when they're not making shots, it becomes harder for them to do that because they're not stretching the floor as Pills gets his 3rd point of the game.
I think with this big lineup, though, and Antoine not being out for the Monstars, they need to speed it down low. They need to try to get some easy buckets while they have the size advantage.
For sure, we got a foul here.
On the floor, it looks like.
Yeah, and the ball will stay with the Monstars. Seabrook in, here comes Stewart. He's been in. Jacobs and Mike Cody for the Monstars, and for Redemption, Sklarz, Pills, Ryder, and Korshard. So Graham is out. I wonder how much of that is the ankle as Jacobs takes it away from Sklarz.
Just a little bit of a reason why we saw him on the all-defensive team. He has
sure.
Great hands. He uses his size so well. Just a tough matchup. He can guard anyone from a forward to a guard. He can pretty much guard any position, especially on the low-rim league.
Yeah, he's definitely very versatile at his size with the height limit of 6'4". Another foul here. 26-18, as you can see there. The Monstars have an 8-point lead with 2.5 to go here in the second quarter. Stewart controls now. Stewart last season, all team honors and all-star, was an all-star again this season. We've talked a lot about him as Jacobs lines up a three. Back rim.
Mike Freeman with the tip. They're calling over the back. Looks like it, yeah.
And they call the foul. It'll stay here. So just when Redemption thought they were going to get the ball back, it's been a solid 2 or 3 minutes on this end of the floor.
Possession here, yeah. Still no points, but...
And Freeman's in. Here comes Graham for Redemption.
Looks like that ankle's holding up. See how it looks.
8-point lead. Stewart off the screen. And Redemption will finally get the ball back. So under 7 to go now. And Redemption trails. And I don't know if any of us expected this kind of start from the Monstars. As you see there, an 8-point Monstars lead.
I think if you're the Redemption, though, you got to feel not too bad for where you are right now, because you're not playing anywhere close to your best basketball, and it's a close game. You're playing great defense. The Monstars haven't scored at a great clip. The Redemption's just not knocking down shots as they brick another jumper there.
Korshard's still scoreless after missing that jumper. Waves off the basket. Korshard has been off, and usually that little mid-range jumper off the backboard, he hits that almost every time, of course, except that one right there.
Yeah, we spoke to it before when he's on the floor with Jalen, it's almost even better because he can bring the ball up and Jalen can play off ball. But Scott, when he's not hitting his shots too, it makes it a little bit harder for the offense to flow, because if you can sag off a little bit on him, it's a little bit easier to play defense.
Ball goes out of bounds. I believe it'll stay here. Interesting matchup with Korshard on Stewart and Graham on Cody. I think a lot of us thought we might have saw that reversed coming into the game as Jacobs
Although maybe they see what we see right now, where Scotty isn't really scoring too much, so maybe they want to make that switch, because Mike Cody's been the one scoring for the Monstars right now.
Korshard's locked in on defense, getting those hands all over, tipping a whole bunch of passes, but they're going to need his offense. And they got the charge. He drew the charge. Scott Korshard takes it in the chest. Corey Jacobs drives into him, and Redemption gets the ball. So defense is holding up, still an 8-point game, but Redemption's going to need some offense here. And like you said, the turnovers are going to kill them. Very uncharacteristic, but to be down 8 here halfway through the second, I think, for how they've played, they'll take it.
And that's a big play there too. It doesn't show up on the score sheet anywhere, but taking that charge, that's a big momentum play, and it turns into 3 on the other end.
And if Sklarz can give him that, he has 7 points now. If he can stretch the floor and be that third scoring option, that will help. He deflects the pass here. Petway's just too big. As it is a 5-point game, they called the foul there on Redemption. Looks like they're lining it up. He's going to get 2 shots, Corey Jacobs. So Jacobs now, an all-star.
Effective at getting to the rim.
For sure. 4th in the league in free throws attempted. So he gets here a lot, and he converts a lot, shooting 41% actually, so I'm going to take that back. He makes the first, but has been streaky here from the charity stripe. 13 games played, started in 11. So he's been a big part of this team.
Reggie Stewart comes out for a break.
There's Rodriguez and Amoroso, yeah. As we await the second free throw. Off the mark, Jeter with the rebound for Redemption. As we are in the second quarter here in the Winter 17 Legacy Leagues Finals, the 3rd-seeded Redemption and the 5th-seeded Monstars. The Monstars lead by 5, 3:40 to go as Graham comes off the screen and finishes a tough bucket over Chisholm.
What a take.
Tough basket for Jalen.
Sometimes it doesn't matter what the defense looks like. He just finds a way to score. As Johnny for a big 3.
Off the mark.
A little short. Nice hustle from the big man.
Gets his own rebound, no call, and I believe no travel there. Could have been a travel, letting him play here as Graham's finish on the other end. Ball's out of bounds. It'll stay with Redemption as we have Pills checking back in.
See a little bit of more defensive pressure there from the Monstars to try to double and trap Jalen there in transition.
Getting the ball out of his hands is probably priority number 1. Now, easier to say from over here. When you're watching the game and not playing, as Chisholm checks him here.
Especially with Scotty out right now.
Kick it to the corner. Castillo for 3.
Big 3.
His first bucket of the game. It's now a 1-point game. So now if you're Redemption, you played like crap, right? And you're here down 1 with about to approach halftime.
Big play.
Pills with the block.
Get out of town.
Rodriguez able to chase that down and kicks it to Jacobs. Fade away,
Not
short.
a good shot.
And now here comes redemption a little bit on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, it's been a while since the Monstars have bought a bucket here.
Uncharacteristic deep pass there, turnover. Amoroso chases that down, and the Monstars
possessions
coming
here
back.
from both teams.
I think we expected a little more up and down as Jacobs with the nice floater, but we've come to a standstill a little bit in the second quarter of some free throws, some turnovers, and here we get going up and down.
I think it's safe to say that they're in the flow of the game now, though.
Yes.
Defense is picked up, the flow of the game is much faster.
Ooh, and a foul by Castillo.
Send him to the line, I like it. Nothing easy.
3-point game with 2 to go here in the first half. That's the second quarter. As Amoroso will go to the line while we have a moment on him. 9 points in the quarters as he was 3 for 6 from 3, so he started heating up, as I mentioned, in these playoffs. Definitely a knockdown shooter, only averaging 5 points a game as he sinks the free throw there, shooting 50% from the line, 27% from 3, but he takes a lot of them and really helps space the floor for this Monstars team. Freeman the rebound, and it's a 4-point game.
Nice pass.
I know Jalen got fouled, but it's very not like him to miss it, and you see the wince there on his face. He might have landed again on that ankle. But still, not like him to not finish that play over the shorter defender, even if he is getting hit.
Yeah, we've seen him, you know, the body control, the ability to finish with both hands at the rim. Definitely looks like he's favoring that ankle a little bit there as you see reaches down to grab it. We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on it as the game goes, but they're going to need him to try to play through it if they can.
Rattles out, able to
lucky.
chase it down.
There it is. That's the finish that we know.
They called a walk, so wave off that basket. He traveled on the gather. Graham leads the league 87.8% from the free throw line, but splits there. Chisholm, same spot. Not good this time from the end of the first. Rodriguez very active, another big block, and that's what this
Over
redemption.
3 redemption players, too.
That's what this team does. They protect the rim well, they beat you down low, and they execute. And that's kind of been their MO this season.
Yeah, Monstars with a little bit of a smaller, more athletic lineup here, with Johnny being their only big.
Now the final seconds, Graham's going to dribble this out. 3-point game, so.
Maybe look for Mike Freeman's spot up here, corner 3.
Screen by Pills. Graham's going to work. Tries to kick it to that corner.
Tried to get it to him.
And that'll do it for the first half. The Monstars lead 30-27.
30-27.
As you see there, 30-27, our halftime score. As we get to some first half highlights, how can we forget this one? Mike Cody, the flush, not usually in the air, Mike Cody.
No, he likes to hang out behind the 3-point line. I mean, he can drive a little bit too, but a little bit uncharacteristic for him.
Graham at the half, 12 points, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. As you saw the block there by Pills, a block here by Cody as they come the other way. And it's the Petway show right there on back-to-back possessions with that putback. As we are underway here in the second half, Monstars lead by 3.
I think if you're Redemption, you got to be feeling pretty good. They would be the first to admit that they didn't play anywhere close to their best half of basketball there, and they find themselves in a 3-point game here. Definitely going to have to tighten the screws here, though, in the second half.
And here is Seabrook at the line early in the third for the Monstars to try to extend this lead. Seabrook 3 points in the first half, and he misses there. Normally good from the free throw line, nearly 60%, which in this league, you'd be surprised, is a pretty good percentage as he sinks the second. But Seabrook, 17 points in the semifinals as well, so he came to play last game. They'll need that third option. We talk about that a lot. The third option for both teams, Seabrook will need to be that as Freeman off the mark from 3.
Yeah, Mike Freeman, a top 5 3-point shooter this season. Really good energy play for them too, able to stretch the floor. I think they're maybe trying to keep up with the 3-ball here, trying to get him going as he misses another jumper there.
Here comes the Monstars, Seabrook with the ball, as they have Stewart, Petway, and Cody on the floor. A nice floater by Stewart. And
how do you even play defense on that?
For Redemption, Korshard, Freeman. I see Graham, and I believe Sklar's is over there, right? There he is, Pete Sklar's.
Right back to him.
Another turnover, so just not communicating or not on the same page for a lot of these passes as Stewart kicks it. Seabrook off the mark from 3. Sklar's controls it, and we're going the other way. So here comes a little up and down action here.
Yeah, Redemption continues to get bailed out after making a couple of bad possessions, turnovers. Monstars not able to execute.
Graham
from deep. There it is.
It's good. Graham.
There's that MVP stroke right there.
Now with 15 in the game. And definitely doing a lot of the scoring for Redemption, has half their points as it is a 3-point game. Monstars will set it up. This is where they're surprisingly pretty good, and that's not meant to be a diss. They're very good in transition, so when you get the Monstars in the half court, you might think they would struggle a little bit, but they're actually able to execute thanks to that man who's off the mark, Reggie Stewart. An offensive rebound, that always helps for Seabrook. Out to Cody for 3, and Redemption controls.
He's cooled off a bit since the first half.
Graham's 7th rebound, so well on his way to a double-double, but another turnover.
Good pass there, gotta catch it. It's a tough look.
Off the mark by Cody, thought Graham might be able to have the block there. And they throw it away again. Sklar's unable to connect with Graham. And again, we talk about those turnovers, but what a game to have a turnover-filled game for Redemption, right? They take care of the ball, they execute. That's like their thing the entire season. And then here in the finals, we're early in the third. They're down 3, as we get a shout-out from Stewart there. And they are unable to get up a shot the past couple times down.
Yeah, it's, sooner or later you got to hope that they're going to just play their brand of basketball, but right now they're just sort of shooting themselves in the foot. Like I keep saying, they're in a good position, only down 3 considering the amount of times that they've given the Monstars extra possessions.
As Jacobs hits that free throw. So under 7 to go, 4-point game. Off on the second. You can't let that happen on a free throw. Stewart soars for the rebound, pulls up off the mark. Korshard comes down with the rebound. And for Redemption, we've talked a lot about Korshard. He is still scoreless in this one, as he, you trust him with the ball, but it can help when he can score and alleviate some of that pressure, as Jeter connects from the wing, a deep 2, and that cuts it to 2.
Take him any way you can get him, Joe. Right now, they got to find scoring somewhere.
Jeter's second bucket as they get a deflection, and here comes the MVP, Jalen Graham.
Transition 3-on-2, they got numbers. Korshard is going to hit his first.
Off the mark.
Good follow.
Graham is right spot, right time, his 8th rebound. As I believe we have a tied game here now. They have come all the way back to tie it at 34, halfway through the third. Can't finish. Petway again cleans up the mess. And that's really why he's out there, right? They're clearly not really running plays for him. They're getting him in pick and rolls, rolling towards the basket. You got Castillo over there shouting out stuff. Deep 3 again. He just hit one from there a moment ago. Jeter the rebound. Hills gets fouled there by Petway. 2-point game. Monstars lead here in the third quarter. Graham, you can see there lining up that shot. Wanted that one. That's not out of his range at all. And just unable to connect from, I would say, about 26, 27, 28 feet. Yes, the rim is lower, but the distance is still the same.
This is a tough matchup, though, for Redemption when the Monstars have Petway and Seabrook out there, because they're both very athletic bigs, and with just Matt Pills out, now Sklar's comes back in, but with just Pills out there having to try to defend the paint against them, it's not an easy assignment.
Pills averages nearly 10 points and 5 rebounds a game, 86% from the floor.
Good board.
Sklar's the putback as Pills misses both free throws, so that's not a good sign, but they still get 2 points. Sklar's there to clean it up as they tie it again at 36.
Another tough attempt there by Reggie Stewart. He's so good at redirecting and changing his direction in midair. Couldn't get that one to go. Korshard stays ice cold.
Hits the floor again, no call that time. Here comes Jacobs to flush, all the way down for the Monstars to regain the lead. Touchdown pass is picked off. Are we playing football? Jabril wishes we were. 8 points, the interception, number 8, excuse me, the interception for the Monstars. Kicks it back to Stewart. And another finish.
Off the dribble, just so hard to defend. You saw the possession before and transition in there. Just when he gets that first step, he blows right by people. Deceptively very quick for someone his size, moves very well.
And he's able to finish, so you talk about that quickness, and then if you even can catch him, he's able to absorb contact and finish, so you can't...
And you combine that with his defensive expertise, and there's no doubt, right, he was, one of the first people taken in the All-Star draft this season.
The ball will stay with Redemption on the block. Yeah, Jacobs.
Ty Alston checks in 2 for the Monstars. Much different role for him this season as last year. He was a mainstay on Run TMC, a big part of the rotation. Captain of this Monstars team, but not playing anywhere near as many minutes, but playing on a competitive team nonetheless.
Sklarz gets fouled. He'll go to the line for 2 now. He had 22 points in Redemption's quarterfinal win over the Rookies and actually set the league record for blocks in a playoff game. So we've seen him hit a 3. We've seen him attack the basket off the dribble. He can hit free throws as well, and he's able to protect the rim. So in this league, the perfect, big man, if you will, that's in quotes, can kind of do it all while also protecting the rim.
As he hits his free throws too.
And he had that league record for blocks in the first round against the Avengers, the 14th seeded Avengers there. And then they took on the 11th seeded Rookies as we get an offensive foul, I believe, there on Jacobs. He might have pushed off, but the path for Redemption, they beat the Avengers. They then took care of the 11th seeded Rookies. They got to the semis and beat the 7th seeded Run TMC. So they didn't play a seed higher than 7 until today in the 5th seeded Monstars. As here's Graham for Redemption. Castillo gets him in the air and 1. Joel Castillo finishes. Jabril can't believe it over there, but the basket will count.
Just the poise there to be able to stay in the air and still get off a good shot and knock it down with the contact. Great shot.
Castillo to the line for 1, and here comes Ken Ryder in for Sklarz. As we are in the 3rd quarter, and that's some offense they needed. So Castillo hit a 3 earlier, misses the free throw, but gets the and 1, gets the 2 points. So he's at 5 in the game.
Seabrook off to the races again.
As we are tied again at
Jacobs.
40. So we are tied again at 40 with about a minute and a half to go. Stewart, no good. He's been unable to find that range today. Normally good, as they would say, Scott Van Pelt, I believe, but unable to do it. Castillo trying again.
We know Reggie Stewart is a microwave, though, and it could, he can be quiet for 35 minutes, and then in the last 5 minutes of a game, he can just put up 11 like that. So, as we saw in the semifinals. So, obviously not the start that he wanted, but would not be surprised at all if he gets it going again.
DJ Steele back to the line for 2 now, as they called a foul, and Jacobs still shrugging his shoulders over there. Sinks the first, gets the friendly roll here at InSports in Trumbull.
High arcing free throw there from Castillo.
Redemption regains the lead here late in the 3rd, 41-40. Connects on both this time. So Castillo giving him some nice scoring options here.
Redemption's done a much better job of getting to the line this half. I think it was pretty lopsided in the first half. Monstars shooting a lot more free throws. Redemption seems to get there. They're getting the ball down low. They're drawing contact.
As now we're in the final 13 seconds, Jacobs gets the screen from Amoroso, turns it down, forces up a shot. Ryder with the rebound, 6 to go. Here comes Graham. Tries to dunk it, misses. The putback is no good, and the heave off the mark as we will end the 3rd quarter 42-40. Can't believe Graham didn't finish that.
Yeah, but for the first time in the game, we see them with a lead going into the 4th quarter. There's no better time to be going ahead than it is right before the 4th.
That's right, 42-40. Redemption leads the Monstars, and hopefully that 2 points that Graham would usually finish on that on that dunk there was unable to get the lift. Now you wonder if it's the ankle.
I can attest. Hey, dunking, you think it's easy. Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks.
When you're Jalen Graham, though.
When you win the MVP, people expect it.
That's
they
right.
expect greatness.
As Graham misses early, Jacobs gets the
with
bump.
the contact.
He'll go to the line again.
That is his specialty. We keep coming back to it. He's just so good at drawing fouls, getting to the basket as he spots up at the corner.
Good deflection.
Yeah, nice hands down low. And just turn it right back over.
Unable to keep possession there.
It's been their Achilles heel all day.
And yet they're
Turnovers.
winning until
Reggie
Stewart. And the steal.
Oh, man. Here we go.
So those turnovers starting to add up and a foul. So you go from leading by 2 on this end of the floor to throwing it away at half court. Stewart gets a finish.
You do not want him to start getting his rhythm right now. That could be dangerous for Redemption. This is the last guy you want to get heated up.
Tied game, Stewart to the line for 2, as we mentioned, an explosion in those last 2 minutes. It wasn't just those last 2 minutes, though, Tyler. 47 points in the semis for Reggie Stewart, a huge part of why his team was able to get the win. That 47, you might be wondering, is that a record? No, Stewart actually holds the record from last season's playoffs. He scored 50 in a playoff game last year, so just another night for Stewart in the Legacy League's playoffs as he
another steal there.
Throws it ahead. Block, but a foul, and Jeter disagrees. As now the Monstars, it's Jacobs back to the line for the Monstars.
Familiar sight here.
As they can build on that lead. Stewart averaged 19 points a game, 85% from the free throw line Stewart is, so definitely one of those guys you want there in a close game. Nearly 7 rebounds a game for Stewart as well, for a guard who does take a lot of threes, has the ball a lot. To be getting that many rebounds is huge for this team, and Jacobs hits the first.
He's just one of those guys, he never takes a possession off. He scores a big bucket, then he instantly steals the inbound pass, misses a free throw, but he gets his own rebound. He's just one of those guys where he's always hungry to find the ball. He always wants it in his hands.
Graham, nice finish, giving him 19 points on the day as the Monstars lead is down to 1 as we approach 7 minutes left in the finals.
Chisholm.
Off the mark. He's been cold since that first crazy three-pointer. Kicks it back out, and they'll keep it.
Wild possession here from the Monstars.
A lot of sloppy play both ways now, and a turnover again for the Monstars. As here comes Jeter for redemption, and it's never a bad thing when you find Graham, right, trailing the play. Almost a travel. I think he kept that foot down, off the mark from 3, but Castillo able to control it. Tipped pass. No foul. So here comes the Monstars, and there's a foul in transition to stop the fast break. The Monstars will have it.
Just under 7 minutes to go here. We got a 1-point game in favor of the Monstars. It's going to be Seabrook to inbound it.
Stewart, Chisholm, and Petway on the floor. Korshard, Pills, who goes for the...
And 1.
They call the travel.
Wow.
Petway shuffled the feet there when he got Pills in the air. So lucky for redemption, they get a break. Only down 1. That's Graham, Jeter, Korshard, and Pills coming down.
Got him with
for
the
redemption.
pump, and then tough play. Get him in the air, you got to be able to draw the foul. Now in the fourth quarter, every possession matters.
Turnover for Graham.
Another, so uncharacteristic. Seabrook can't get it to go. They're getting bailed out again.
Back and forth we go in a 1-point game. The winner named champion of the finals. Champion of the season for the Legacy League's winter season.
And a new champion at that.
That's right. So we had the Brotherhood run the table twice before, and they took a season off. So now we were guaranteed a new champion, and it's neither of the top 2 seeds, as I mentioned, who both ran the table in the regular season. So this is uncharted waters for the league, not having an undefeated team here, and 2 new teams, one of which is about to win it. Chisholm unable to finish over Graham, so another missed opportunity. And Pills the other way, up high to put it down, and Redemption regains the lead.
That is an athletic play right there from Matt Pills. What a finish. Reaches high behind his head, 2-hand slam.
Stewart up top, Jeter contests. It's good, there's the 3 from Stewart we talk about. Monstars back up by 2 halfway through the fourth, 48-46. And if Stewart gets going now, it'll be trouble for Redemption.
Down the wire, starting to hit some tough shots now. Good hustle there by Scott Korshard on the follow. We're gonna call foul there, looks like on Chisholm.
Right, foul on the shot. So Graham will get 2 shots with his team trailing by 2. As I mentioned, Graham nearly 88% from the free throw line. So we're expecting these to fall here as he makes the first and cuts the lead to 1. Alston checks in for Amoroso. Just looking at some team totals as Graham gets that second. Redemption very high in a lot of categories. 2nd in total points, 2nd in field goals made, 2nd in 3-pointers made, so 2nd in rebounding. I mean, they're a big team. We talked about that. As for the Monstars, 5th in points, 5th in field goals, so their seed definitely fits them, right? But rebounding, they're more of a scrappy team that has really picked it up come the playoffs, while Redemption, some people could see them getting to this point as Korshard comes off the screen and Cody's there to change direction. Pills inside.
Pass.
and they call a foul on Alston, so Pills back to the line. He's been there a lot today, only shooting 50% from the line on the season, but has been able to convert and has been a nice lift for this team on offense. Nice putback. There's another free throw.
He's another guy for this team that just brings so much for their identity down low.
Right.
Strong finisher, not afraid to draw contact, and you can see there, hits his big free throws when it matters most down the stretch here in the fourth.
Here comes Stewart in a tied game. Turnover.
Ill-advised pass.
Freeman runs over Cody. And I believe from the reaction they called the block. They did, so that will be redemption ball. We get a spike from Stewart, clearly unhappy. But redemption will keep it in a tied game. Maybe better than a transition bucket for redemption, but Freeman, I'm sure, would have liked to been able to push the tempo there. As here comes Korshard with a double screen action, and they got the switch. They got the switch they want. Pills now has Cody on him. They're trying to get it to him. And here is Korshard attacking the basket, poked away by Cody. And the three off the mark. So Scott still unable to get it to go, gets the ball back, pump fakes, and is bumped in the lane by Ty Alston.
Yeah, we're down under 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter, and Korshard's still unable to get on the score sheet. Very, very surprising here for this redemption team. He's been one of the mainstays and really the facilitator and runs this whole offense when, you know, him and Graham are really the 1-2 punch, not being able to get anything to go all day.
Now Stewart checks Graham. Pills sets the screen. They like that action here, so he comes back again with the screen. They're looking for him on it. He's able to catch.
Good help D by Petway there.
Petway's there to contest. Sklarz gets it. Unable to get the roll. That's his little move, the 4 or 5 foot bank shot. And they call a block on Korshard. That one was close, so under 2 to go. Korshard tries to take another charge and is unable to, and we've said this a couple times today, Corey Jacobs to the line for 2. So that is Redemption's 1 foul to give. So the way this works now, any foul by Redemption, the Monstars will be shooting, where the Monstars can still foul Redemption once, and if the Redemption player is not shooting, it will just be a side out for Redemption. So Jacobs hits the first to give his team a 1-point lead here late in the fourth.
Just want to speak a little bit too about Antoine Petway's effort down low defensively, you know, help defense.
And they called a foul there on Petway. I'm going to cut you off. So that's the Monstars foul to give. So we'll be shooting free throws on every foul from here on out. As you see there, 1-point game. Redemption has the ball. Almost a carry. Sklarz, he's hit one of those before, no good. And there's your buddy Petway with the rebound. 1-point lead with the ball. Here's Jacobs. Guarded by Graham. Sklarz on Cody. They'll reset to Jacobs up top. Drives it, kicks, deflected. So now Redemption has the ball again. So each team has had the ball here. You know, if we kind of keep track in the final 2 minutes, and it's still a 1-point Monstars lead. Korshard off the dribble. Blocked. No, they're going to call goaltending, and we will take another look at that. The ball definitely on its way down, so that is a good call. 2 points for Korshard. His first 2 points of the game there, so he gets his points not even on the ball going in. It's been that kind of day for Korshard, but Redemption retakes the lead.
Now down under a minute to go here.
Here's Jacobs coming to get the screen from Petway. They're going to switch it, so here's Pills guarding Jacobs, and they get it back to the top. Mike Cody guarded by the bigger Sklarz. He's going to take him off the dribble. Sneak by, and we got a whistle and one. Mike Cody, big play for Mike Cody there. Gets the bump and the foul as he goes around the bigger defender with a free throw coming.
Cody been very quiet since the first half. Comes up with a huge bucket here on the bigger defender. Able to just squeak it in and one going to the line. What a shot. That's a chance to make this a 2-point game here.
Those are his 6th and 7th points of the game as he gives his team the lead. And now every point becomes huge. The free throw rolls out, and Redemption has the ball again, trailing by 1. About 30 seconds left, so they're going to get back into screen and roll action. Graham, he's going to take the 3. Pills there. Big putback, so now we got a back and forth game. Redemption by 1 with 22 seconds left. Jacobs kicks to Cody.
There he is again.
Big shot, 19 seconds left. Mike Cody, big shot. So from down 1 to up 3, 56-54, Monstars lead. Here's the matchup, Graham on Stewart. Graham puts it off his foot. It's out of bounds. Stewart and Mike high five on that. I don't even know if that was the defense. I think Graham just put it off his foot.
There's no excuse for that. That's that MVP of this league dribbling off his foot with 15 seconds left.
So now Monstars with the ball, up by 2 with under 15 to go. Let's get back a look at this. Here's
the Hills put back here.
No box out. So Stewart does a lot of things well there, just a little mental lapse, forgets to box out, and here's Jacobs, the great find.
Looks a little bit like Villanova here, Joe.
The slow-mo definitely helps that case. Mike Cody for 3, huge shot with 19 seconds left.
Let's see if we can see what happens here. Just loses it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
At the worst possible time.
So now here comes Redemption out of the timeout. They're going to try to get a steal, but they'll have to foul now. We know Stewart and Mike Cody, some of the better free throw shooters here. They'll get it in. Korshard fouls Stewart.
Yep, that's the guy you want going to the line.
So everything according to plan for the Monstars here.
Well executed.
Stewart will get 2 shots. There's no 1-and-1. 56-54. His team leads with a chance to go up by as many as 4. Big one there. So now it's a 3-point game, even if he misses the second. That is Stewart's 8th points, I believe. So
this is the big one here, though, with the ability to make it a 2-possession game with just 11 seconds left.
It's good. So Stewart steps to the line and makes both. So now Redemption has a timeout. They're not going to use it. Under 10. Misses the steal. Korshard, big 3.
Wow.
All right, so it's not over. 1-point game. They'll foul Petway. So let's reset this for you. 58-57. The Monstars lead with Antoine Petway going to the line. Here's another look at that play and that big shot by Korshard.
Very heads up, too, by Redemption, too. As soon as they made sure that they fouled the right guy there. They got Monstars. Got it in real quick, got it to Petway, and they were able to get the foul. This is the guy that they want shooting free throws right here.
So we'll go down the other end, as you see there, 5.6, 58-57 with 2 free throws coming for Petway. Now for Petway, 33% free throw shooter on the season, and 2 of the biggest free throws here. Looked good, but off. So now we know Redemption will have the ball and can win the game. So here's Petway. His second free throw to make it a 2-point game. Off the mark, big rebound, and Redemption will call timeout with 4.8 left. So in the Legacy Leagues, you are allowed to advance the ball. So they will get the ball at half court with 4.8 left, down 1.
It's all going according to plan right now for Redemption. They got the guy that they wanted at the line. They hit the big 3 by Korshard there. Now they get the ball. 4 seconds. It's plenty of time to get off a good shot. Down 1. Don't have to chack up a 3.
Now you can see there Redemption is drawing up a play. What do you think they're saying there in that huddle?
I think that the Monstars are going to assume that this ball is going to Jalen Graham, but I think you got to be looking out for the second option. I think that they might try to double Jalen here if they were smart.
Right.
You know, you don't want him to beat you, but you also can't forget about the other guys out there.
Right, and so Graham, 21 points. Leading his team, Sklar's in double digits with 11. 3 guys, Jacob, Stewart, and Cody in double figures for the Monstars. Now to set the scene, Korshard, Graham, Sklar's, and I believe Pills is over there in Stewart, Petway, Jacobs, and Cody on the floor for the Monstars. Graham comes off a screen, catches 25 feet away, past Stewart, dishes to Sklar's, blocked by Petway, and that'll seal it. The Monstars are your Legacy Leagues champions.
What a game by Petway today.
And they love it. The Monstars are champions. So Petway misses 2 free throws. The big block, we're going to see it again here, but a very good play. So Graham could have rolled a little more off that screen, catches it going away from the bucket. They take away the screener. He kicks to Sklar's from the corner, and a straight up and down block by Petway, some contact, but I don't think expecting a call there. Pretty good up and down, and he gets the block. We'll see it again.
Yeah, well, he's able to adjust the shot from Jalen Graham, makes him hand it off, and then he's able to get up again to make the block there on Sklar. It's just a huge play defensively. Okay, so now we're going to throw it over to Joey Zocco for the trophy presentation with our new champions, the Monstars.
Oh, all right, there you go. And all right, so before we get to the champs and this beautiful trophy, round of applause for Redemption for sure. A 1-point game, a very hard-fought game. Shout out to them for making it this far. And shout out to, we had 2 undefeated teams. I know neither of them made it this far, but that's still a feat in itself for the regular season. Serial Killers in No Limit, our 3rd season. Whole bunch of good stuff. I'm Commissioner Joey Zocco. Let's just get to it, right, guys? One point to Brill knows to deal with this. Legacy Leagues champs, the Napa Auto Parts of Stratford. They don't sell tires, despite what Tyron says. Championship trophy. The Winter 17 champions, I am proud to present the Monstars. That's that. Oh, Joey Hood.
Don't worry, fellas.
All right, so guys, I'm going to cut back in. Whoever wants to take a couple questions quick, we'll do the MVP.
We'll let the block get
that block of the game. What was, Jalen's driving at you. What was going through your mind on that last 4 seconds of the game?
Man, to be honest, I don't know. I ain't want to lose. I ain't want to lose, to be honest. I was going to cry if I lost.
How's it feel to place you guys in the middle of that? All right, so before we cut the net down, which you guys, that'll be fun. Burns Tire. I don't know why Burns Tire is on it. Fallen, Winter 17 Finals MVP. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and that big 3 at the top of the key.
Mike Cody.
Mike Cody.
The Winter 17 season in the books. Mike Cody, Finals MVP, 10 points, 4 rebounds, a couple big shots. As you see Reggie Stewart here cutting down the net. He finished with 12 points, and Jacobs with 13. As I mentioned, Graham led all scorers with 21, but turnovers was the game.
Yeah, I mean, Redemption finished the game with 17 turnovers to 8 for the Monstars. Just gave the Monstars so many extra possessions, and you see, game was a 1-point game. You got to think with 9 more turnovers than the other team, that's really going to be sort of a hindrance there.
As you see them place themselves in the middle there, as they are the champions, as we take a look back at some of the big plays, but it was all Monstars here as they were able to escape 58-57.
Yeah, I mean, slow starts from Jalen Graham, Korshard too.
And you've been watching the Winter 2017 Legacy Leagues Finals on Intrigue TV. For more information about the league, visit our website, thelegacyleagues.com, and follow us on social media at legacy_leagues. For Tyler Feldman, this is Joey Zocco saying so long from In Sports Centers in Trumbull with the Monstars, your Winter 2017 Legacy Leagues champions.